Peaceful Army.
Peaceful Army.
Welcome to the podcast of the Peaceful Army.
What? Really?
And I'm not sorry.
What does it mean?
Oh my god!
Greta's gonna wreck my shit.
Yes, I'm obsessed with Greta Van Fleet, and what do you care?
I think I'll make this my entire identity.
That was not very Peaceful Army of you. If you don't like it, you can fuck off!
Welcome to the podcast of the Peaceful Army. I am your co-host, Lindsay.
And I am your co-host, Zoey.
Yes. Here we are. The podcast the people want. That's our tagline.
Do they? We want it, but
we want it, and even if they don't, we're just gonna keep making it.
We're gonna keep doing it.
I feel like, what we got, so our news is that we got like 30 people that wanted a postcard, so at least 30 people.
That's so true. And if you guys listening want a postcard, there's still time. Might not get to you by Christmas, but I will put I'll put a link down to our Instagram. You can find our mail form in there if you want to get a postcard from us. They're very cute. Should I reveal them on the pod?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on.
And I need to do a much better job of audio description for the people listening. And here we have Zoe holding up a rectangular card. Green and red nowhere to be seen. However, black and gold, the colors of Tabag.
Yes.
And it's the four boys and us being the twins. So
yeah.
It's very festive, very nice, very lovely. Get yours today.
For free $99.
Exactly. Dude, I was talking to somebody and they're like, wow, you have enough people that want to buy that? And I was like, no.
We just do it out of the kind, peaceful army hearts that we have.
Exactly. I would never, making money off of this would feel wrong. But
any money that we made off of this would just go right back into Greta Van Fleet.
It would go straight into our habit. This is literally this is what helps me to the madness that I feel. This helps tamp that down, is this podcast. So
yeah. Well, you know, like
therapy.
how some people, like when they have aggression issues, they need to go boxing. Like, this is our boxing. We're getting out all of our Greta energy here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my deep dark secret, is that I have a Greta addiction. So it's not. Is that
really a deep dark secret though?
Listen, I have been very subtle to most of the people in most of the people in my life would be like, no, you haven't, Lindsay. But I feel like I do a very good job of holding back and being like, yeah, I listen to this band. And you like rock? You should listen to this song. And I don't say anything about this podcast.
No, I forgot to tell you. So when I was at the casino last night, I was with my friend and I was being so chill. I hadn't talked about Greta Van Fleet almost all night. And then she comes up to me and she goes, by the way, I've been listening to Greta Van Fleet a lot more lately. And I was like, really? Trying to be so calm, not so freaking chill. Out. This is my dearest friend, Kat. And I showed her them months ago. And I tried to push for maybe 20 minutes and was showing her all my little obsessive things. And then we listened to it a little bit, and then I was like, all right, I'll let her find it on her own. She already knows I'm obsessed. She knows she can come to me. She told me last night, and I was like, don't freak out. Don't freak out, because it's going to ruin it. Just be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta not alarm them so that they can start to experience it themselves. That's why when I texted you about my sibling being like, all right, what should I listen to? I was like, okay, calm, it's happening. I already had a playlist ready, because you gotta, on deck, you gotta have it ready.
I do. I have a Greta Van Fleet starter pack playlist.
Yes. Wait, tell me, okay, before we get into the news of our breakdowns this past week, tell me what your starter pack is.
Well, obviously, I have to put in a lot of From the Fires in it, just because I feel like that's a good place to start. And I tell everyone to listen to it in order, because I feel like it gives people the best idea.
That's valid.
But the only one song that I put first before From the Fires is Heat Above. That one. Yeah. That one just has to go first.
Yeah. Do you know, fun fact, I think Heat Above was the reason why I didn't get into Greta at first. That's not a very fun fact. That's a very sad tale. Yeah, because ask my sibling. I was kind of put off by the yodeling. I was put off by the yodeling.
Dude, the yodeling was my favorite part.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was in a bad time in my life.
I get it. I just have such a fond. I'm talking about all my besties tonight. My
You're
best friend.
you're supposed to disagree with me, and we can get clickbait content.
Oh,
Lindsay hates heat above.
Lindsay dislikes heat above. Oh,
I just
my
can't get
God.
behind the yodeling.
The yodeling, bro, that is like the best part of the entire song. Don't you love hearing Josh Kiska scream into a microphone for 5 minutes?
No. Ew, he's screaming in my face. Ew, gross.
Oh my God. I'm going
A
to
man
review.
yelling at
You're
me?
gonna... I hope you write a terrible review about it in a very mansplainy way and then make every other man that you know hate it.
Dude, that's the sickness, my guy. It's a sickness because I can tell. I can tell when a man in his life has somebody else who has shit talked Greta. I can tell every single time. They're like,
Yes.
yeah, my friend likes them. I'm like, oh, okay, your friend likes them. Or maybe your friend has told you shit about them. You haven't even listened to it yourself. If you listen to it with me, I promise you'd like them.
You'll like them.
You'll like them.
Heat Above, though, that if that really wasn't the song that, like, if that one actually turned you off from them, I think that's so funny because that's the one that like really launched me into them because my best friend Ben and he lived on campus and I had an off-campus house, so we would drive together a lot, and we would listen to Heat Above and we would sing one of the lyrics like so in our own way, mimicking Josh, and I don't know if I want to do it, but
do it.
you gotta go like resin, like like it's gotta sound a little bit terrible, at least for me.
Every time.
But we did that at our first Greta show. I got a video of it of us just screaming it like that, and that was like
so
core sweet Greta memory for me.
Yeah. I will say I have since obviously come full circle to Heat Above. It's just the most beautiful opener in the world. But yeah, I wasn't ready to accept Greta into my heart at the time. So I've since repented and I've seen the light.
Good. I'm glad you're here with us.
So the two breakdowns that I was not super able to, because the end of the semester is so stressful at school, but I was having breakdowns over both Danny and Josh's posts because they were just beautiful. They were gorgeous.
The Sammy girls got fed.
They did. They really did. Every single time I see like a picture of him like doing one of those like leans, I'm kind of like, now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Am I into that?
Samuel. Anytime he's in that red suit, I'm like, sir, what are you doing? Who let you do that?
Interesting.
Samuel.
Interesting stuff. But yeah, Danny, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think it's so funny how he did black and white after Jake did all the black and white. Like, it just feels to me like he just had a conversation with him like, yeah, dude, do black and white. They'll go crazy over it.
They'll think you're so artistic. Just do it, man.
It's really hot. Just do it. They like it.
Make sure to include an Oscar Wilde quote in there, and they'll just go crazy.
And they're right. And I eat that shit up every time.
Num num num.
I'm eating.
I do also think that we need to talk about Danny's tattoo.
I know. I'm just looking at it now. It's so cute and it's so basic bitch. I love it.
But it is, but there's like so much meaning behind it other than just getting a rose tattoo, you know? And I said this once, I'll say it again. Instead of giving out roses, he got his own rose.
It's so just like, I love the way that Danny, like, he's so himself. He just is so authentic, and like, he just, every single time he's like, love you and I love me too. He does love himself, and everybody needs to feel that way about themselves. I'm like, Danny, I aspire to be that loving of my own self.
He's just, you can like, said it a million times. You can just tell he drinks his respect himself juice and his respect woman juice. Like, it's so
Amen.
apparent.
Amen. Yes and amen. They're all very respectful, and that's half the reason why when when redacted bros come at me and they're like, why don't you just listen to classics? Classic rock and roll is so misogynistic, bro. So misogynistic.
So bad.
Don't get me wrong, I was born on the Beatles, right? Like, I was raised up in a lot of like classic rock, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hit the same. Certainly when you're a woman.
Nope. And something I'll say too is it's even more of like a people look down on you when you're a younger woman that listens to rock,
Yes. Yes.
or if you don't fit like the rock aesthetic all the time. And that just happens everywhere. You go to like I've been to hockey games before where I've been a young woman excited to hang out and I know how to play freaking hockey, and men will just sit there and scream at me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, this is why we can't do anything. Like, we can't enjoy ourselves. But in this community, I don't feel as though I've ever been shut out by any other people and told I can or can't listen to this music.
Well, and that's like the number one thing that got me into it in the first place was when Josh came out and I was like, no, wait a minute, this is gay? All right. And then I realized how many like women and non-binary and queer people were also into it. I was like, wait a minute, I thought rock was for the bros. Wait a minute. And then I like came back into it and I was like, oh, I do love this. Isn't it incredible how many things that women would actually be able to partake in if men didn't ruin it for them?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Would be nice.
Yeah, it's very inclusive and awesome here. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but I do like to look at the pretty sunsets and watch everything else happen from afar.
Dude, I will never step foot on Greta Twitter. X.
No,
absolutely not.
I just see a bunch of. I don't see it. I hear it, and I just don't feel like that's the most peaceful place. And I feel like I'm safe on Instagram. TikTok feels a little scary sometimes, but
TikTok's just like that, though. It's the Wild West out there.
It is. It truly is something.
Yeah.
But I feel like the people that we've met, the people that we talk to, have all been so nice, and I just want to give them all hugs. This is a hug from me to you guys.
Speaking of which, I just got, hold on, now I'm gonna make all these sounds. I just got 2 pieces of mail from my grestie Anna. Love you. She is the cutest thing. Look, she handmade this card. Happy holidays, handmade card. And she gave me like candy because she works in a candy shop. Just like the cutest stuff. And I just love you, Anna. She was my second ever grestie besides you.
I love that.
Love her to death. Hopefully we can see each other at a show. There's a couple people too that like I know are going to Pittsburgh, and 1 or 2 people I know in St. Louis. So we've been making y'all Podcast of the Peaceful Army bracelets, and also like Lane bracelets and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if you have seen the lives, you've seen us. That's our other news. We've been going live. Like the influencers we are.
We're so technologically advanced. I know how to do a live video, kind of.
I don't, but...
I don't either. I still don't know, but we're trying.
It's fine.
All right, I guess maybe last news item before I jump in is they're doing a lot of festival announcements in Europe.
Yeah.
A lot.
They are.
And if you haven't gotten your kombucha yet, guys, they're shipping it now.
Kombucha.
And the Gretaverse podcast, which is the other Greta podcast here in the community, they got to interview somebody from there, which was so cool.
Very cool.
That's so like awesome to hear that.
It'd be so cool.
It was a really cool episode. Anyways, I'm gonna dive in to my little Prezi. The first thing I want to talk about, which I thought we might talk about last episode, but then we didn't end up talking about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, wait, we never talked about this, which was symbols.
Oh, in StarCATCher, you're so right.
Yeah, Josh's symbol. I
Yeah.
didn't pull up anything for everyone has been talking about the StarCATCher A being a symbol. And I think maybe it's just an A with a line through it, but it could also be a little bit more. I'll come back to you on that, guys. I got to do more research. I got
I
to figure
certainly
it out.
think it's emblematic. I mean, Jake wears it on the back of his suit, so it must mean something, but I don't really know what.
Someone said it looks like a Greek letter.
Delta, yeah.
Yeah, but I got to actually do more research on that. I've been busy. So, this is what we're getting today.
Yeah, we're always like, "Ugh, we need to do more research. We're the most research heavy bitches out there.
I literally, by the end of 2024, I want both of us to be gifted a master's degree in Greta Van Fleet.
You literally. Wait, hold on. Because I bought myself a little Alchemist copy, which I need to start reading. Yeah. But I was at a bookstore getting Christmas presents, and I was like, oh my God, this is something else Santa got me for the audio people. It's a Light My Love bookmark. Isn't that cute?
Well, now you can use that with your Alchemist book.
Love you, Anna.
By the way, guys, I did find a picture with Jake reading that book.
Yeah.
No idea where it went. I saw it for 5 seconds, lost it. But I saw it.
I have it saved on Pinterest. He's like casually like, he's reading the back of it. He's like showing everybody that he's reading. He's like,
guys, I'm reading.
Look at me.
So astute. All right. Symbols and theory catch up, and then we're going to talk about the songs. Joshua's symbol. Jen Ivy Jewelry, who does a lot of the jewelry for the boys. She's done the sword for Jake. She did Josh's symbol, and she did Sammy's symbol necklaces. It's titled New Society on her page. And I think it looks a little bit like the Philosopher's Stone symbol, which is this picture right below the text. If you can't see it, guys, think of the Deathly Hallows symbol minus the line in the middle. It's basically like a triangle with a square and then a circle in it. Obviously, the square is missing from Josh's symbol, but that triangle with the circle in it obviously hints at something, right?
You could argue that the lines inside are also a square. Like it's two sides of a square that have been put over each other.
You definitely could. I think there's a lot of elements of Battle at Garden's Gate in here with the lines going around the circle. It's giving heat above. The lines in the middle even kind of look like the My Way Soon symbol, which we've talked about in previous episodes.
They also fit in the middle of the gate. Like it looks like the rays that are coming out of the gate.
It does. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Basically, guys, Philosopher's Stone, what it means, like its significance is that it is like it can change stuff. A lot of people thought it could change, certain metals into gold. It's all about like transformation, kind of. And it was a quest that all alchemists set out to do, to find the Philosopher's Stone, to be able to transmutate things.
I have another media reference that's probably a coincidence that it looks so similar. But there's a live action D&D podcast that I listen to called The Adventure Zone. And they use a symbol that's almost identical to that.
Really?
Bracer. I think it's called the Bracer. I didn't think I would bring it up, but they have this symbol on their like gauntlet, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's basically just the inside of the circle, and it's kind of like the 7 parts are supposed to be 7 of the characters. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with like their songs or like their pieces. And in that story, it's supposed to represent the 7 people. But Yeah,
Hmm,
who knows?
that's really cool. You know so many things. It's very cool.
It's just happenstance. I'm just a dork. Although I don't think it's far off to say that maybe one of the boys has listened to the Adventure Zone. I don't know. They've
Maybe.
certainly listened to enough watched enough Lord of the Rings. So maybe they'd be into D&D. So maybe they'd be into
Maybe.
the Adventure Zone. I don't know. I don't think they'd steal from the Adventure Zone though, you know. I
No,
think it's just a
probably
coincidence.
not.
But it's cool to think about.
Yeah. Last note, guys, that I'll leave you with about the Philosopher's Stone. Um, it was a central symbol of the mystical terminology of alchemy, symbolizing perfection at its finest, enlightenment, and heavenly bliss, which I think ties into that new society. Maybe this is symbolizing a new perfect society with lots of enlightenment and is very heavenly. Who
Mm,
knows? All
mm,
right. Sam symbol, I'm going to touch on it briefly because I don't know a lot about it, but it is titled Sacred Sound. And apparently it was inspired by the light of a lighthouse, like the little rays are lighthouse light rays.
I've seen people call it a radioactive cockroach. I think that's
I have
really
seen that
funny.
too. It for me, some reason when I look at it, all I see is lizard face. Like the little circles are the eyes of a lizard.
Yeah. I was just deleting old photos today and came across one of those old sketches of the gardens that I think Jake did. Did I delete it? But in one of the gates, one of the gates has that symbol. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, the gates?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait.
Hold on, this might take me a second, so we might need to because I
Oh,
forgot about it
oh.
until you had just said it. But you
While
remember
you're
me?
I do
What?
remember you talking about that now, but also
Hmm.
that made me just think of something
What?
because you know me, I love going to Barnes and Noble. I
Oh
love
yeah.
just hanging around the bookstore. And I was looking through this book about symbols.
Hmm.
And so, for those of you that don't know me, I have an Ankh symbol behind my ear, which means life, which is what my name means. And my dad studied a lot of like ancient Egypt and ancient civilization in college. So I grew up around learning a lot about Egyptian hieroglyphic symbols, history, all of that. So I felt really connected to that symbol and I
Hmm.
got it on my ear. And so I was looking up the symbol in this symbols book,
Hmm.
and it said it can also be a key. And do you know what the shape kind of looks like? It looks like the key from the Battle at Gardens Gate.
It does. That's why I love these sketches too. Is that I don't remember where I saw this, but they all have a gate, key that goes with it. So if you're just listening, I found this sketch of several different gates that I think Jake did for Battle of Gardens Gate randomly, and it's very very small. But do you see how the symbol on the right kind of looks like that? It looks like Sam's like
Oh,
symbol.
yeah.
You know? I don't know why it would be in the gate, but there's a triangle to the left and kind of what looks like Sam's symbol to the right. I don't know.
Please send that picture to me so I can put it up on
Yeah.
the screen for the people
It's so
listening.
small. I might try to find you a better one, but yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about the two symbols. That's kind of all I wanted to touch on from
Hmm.
theorizing and stuff with them. Um, but now let's get into the music. All right, shall we? Some people wanted to hear how the lyrics connect to previous albums, how they hint at other things. So I kind of wanted to do an overview of the songs,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of a quicker overview. And then if we find something interesting that we want to
Hmm.
dive further into, we can for you
Lightning
guys.
round.
Lightning round. All right. Fate of the Faithful. I put all the lyrics here for those who are watching on YouTube if you want to look along with us. Um, I'll read my little blurb and then we can talk about it. Although there seem to be no lyrical connections between this album and any previous, it could be a song about knighthood. The
Hmm.
lyrics insinuate a knight ceremony. We knelt on the slab, the blessed people. A
Hmm.
knighting ceremony includes lots of prayers, leaving your sword in the altar and taking in the vows of knighthood. It also seems as though it is talking about knighthood in general, fighting for the fable of war, fable of being a hero only to burn and not have your body returned home.
Mhm.
So that was my take on this song when I was reading it. I just looked up the words knelt on the slab and night, and then all this stuff came up. So
Cool.
all I'm telling you guys is just look up keywords, and that's how I find 80% of this stuff.
I love, and we were talking about this earlier in the week. I love how the album starts out with this very like, it seems like a very embittered person that's singing at the
Mhm.
beginning. And then by the end of it, I mean, they're saying, instead we burned. Like, I was promised this story, and instead it all burned away and it was all for naught. By the end, they're saying, we're going to blow it up. Like, we are part of the burning, essentially. Like, meeting the masters is the burning, it feels like. And I
Yeah.
think that's fascinating because if we're trying to do a storyline, is it the same person? Are they going from being embittered to now finally like they're in the story enough to be like, no, like I'm bought into this? I don't know.
Who knows? It seems very clear that the album is not linear in terms
No.
of storyline.
Yeah.
So any way that you organize these songs could tell a different story. So
Yeah.
it's hard to tell like what story is it telling, where's the beginning, where's the end.
I think it's supposed to tell many stories too. I was talking to somebody about, not to be a super big massive nerd, but I was talking to somebody about Baldur's Gate, the D&D game that just came out. Not just, but like people really really love it. Essentially, it's like D&D made into a video game. And you
Mhm.
can play like just thousands of different stories. And when I first listened to this album, I was convinced, I was like, this is a campaign. This is literally a fantasy campaign. And I think that that is like still pretty accurate in the way that a lot of the songs are telling different character stories, and they can fit
Yeah.
together however you want, but they can also be like separate.
Well, I think too about like Lord of the Rings. Like
Yeah.
there's multiple main characters and there's
Mm-hmm.
multiple plots that are being followed. So it doesn't necessarily all have to be like there is one plot, but there's
Mm-hmm.
also a B plot and a
Mm-hmm.
C plot and all these things that are going to come together to help push
Mm-hmm.
along the main plot. And that's just film for you, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to like overtake your symbology here, but are we ever going to talk about who's which character? I love when we talk about this stuff.
I did see somebody post about this,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very interesting to me because that's not necessarily the take well, except one. We're just gonna put it out there. We already
to
know who Jake is
to be clear,
immediately.
no, yeah, and to be clear, we're talking about which, because we're being parasocial, but which character would relate to like which guy, essentially. And yeah,
Yeah.
clearly Jake is, yeah.
Clearly, Jake is Aragorn. He's the
Mm-hmm.
knight. He's the king with his
Mm-hmm.
big sword of
Mm-hmm.
kings.
And his
I
emo haircut.
and I think Jake would also say that he's that.
100%. I mean, who wouldn't want to be? Like, come on.
Exactly. Um, I feel like Josh just has to be one of the hobbits.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be. He's gotta be. Not in a bad way, in the best way.
No, in the
Like,
best
Frodo is my
way.
main character. I love Frodo.
I do love Frodo. I don't think any of the boys are. Sam, and the closest one to Sam would be Danny, I feel like.
Agree. Fully agree. Fully agree.
I don't think Josh is annoying enough to be Pippin, so it's giving more merrier Frodo.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Sam has Pippin energy.
Sam does have Pippin energy. Yep.
He does. He does.
I think Josh should be more like Mary. Like he'd know how to have fun in fun times, but also would stand up for his friends when he needed to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But also
You're right.
I think Josh would think he's like Gandalf or something.
I do agree. I feel like Sam, though, would probably be like I don't know why. I just feel like Sam would want to be Gandalf.
I think they would all in their own little ways want to be a wise wizard like Gandalf.
Yeah. I just think about like my siblings, like when we were playing Star Wars, like who always got to be which character. It's like baby brother never gets to be Anakin. Like, that's
No,
not that's
no.
not who you get. You're not Luke. Are you kidding
Mhm.
me? Of course, I never got to be Luke, but I always wanted to be Padme or Leia. So
Well, that's great that you got that then. You
yeah.
always get first casting when you're the oldest, so
You better. Like, come on now. It's
I get the
firstborn
first
right.
Wii remote, I get the first
Exactly.
casting, everything
Exactly.
mine.
Yeah.
I
No,
run
I
this
never.
show, guys.
I wish my siblings were bigger gamers than I, so I always got like third pick, even though I was the
Mm,
oldest. But
it's fine.
fun.
Um, I think Danny would be Sam. I
Yeah.
think yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Alright, that's our take, guys.
yeah, we could talk about it all day.
We could. Um, I'd be very interested, though, to hear them say which
I
characters they think
know.
they
Which one
are.
do you relate to the most? Because like we can perceive whatever, but it is interesting. Okay, continue.
Waited all your life. I just wanted to point out before I get into my description here, uh, Josh says swim to shore,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about water and the
Yeah.
beach last episode, and I'm just like thinking, what if this is the ending of the album and the next is going to lead us into the water?
Maybe. It reminds me a lot too of Caravel.
It does, yeah. I love that song. Okay, description. This song has many interpretations that may be perceived in different ways.
Yep.
Obviously, the listener hears the pleading done by Josh begging whomever is listening to stay.
Mhm.
On one side, it could be a song about reassurance, providing comfort to the listener that they should continue their story, they should stay. On the other, it could seem like a begging or control tactic because many people seem to think that this song gives off a culty vibe.
Yes.
Um, and last thing, I don't know where this has been said before, but I know a lot of people have talked about it, is that people think Josh wrote the song for Jake when he was sick. Not proven, but just things I've heard.
Random theory. I mean, I think that theory is telling of like how many different ways this can be interpreted, because when I first listened to it and I was in the headspace of this is a D&D campaign, these are people struggling with faith, this song, and I think this is one of the first conversations on theory we had, was this song
Mhm.
reminds me of somebody inside the cult pleading to somebody outside of it to like come back essentially,
Mhm.
and like keep having this be in their life. And it is, yeah, it seems to me like whoever is the character who's singing Fate of the Faithful is who they're singing this to.
Oh.
Yeah, because that person is like, this was literally a story, we fought for it and it did nothing for me, and then this person is saying like,
But you did
come,
so much.
yeah, come
Buddy,
back.
don't be sad.
Yeah.
It's
Don't be
it's definitely just a song about a loss of faith, whether that be a religious faith, whether that be hope,
Mhm.
losing your hope and needing reassurance that it'll get
Mhm.
better. Um one lyric that like when I was reading this over, I was like, whoa, was share our skin. I was like,
Wait, where is this
okay.
at?
It's like the fourth line from the bottom
Oh
on the
yeah.
left side. Share our skin. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's time for us to pray. This person is 100% still within the cult.
It does read very culty because of all the praying, the share our
We
skin
won't
felt
lead you
very
astray.
Yep. This is what
Yeah.
you've been looking for. Come here. This is everything that you need in life. It's what you've been looking
Mhm.
for.
Shout, oh Lord, like say what you need to in order to believe this.
Mhm. Okay, The Falling Sky, guys. I think this is the song that has a lot of biblical connections. It reminds me of Revelations, even though I've
Yeah.
never read the Bible, but you always hear about the sky falling and well, what that means, like meteors or the stars actually falling out of the sky.
Mhm.
But it heavily reminds me of that. It could connect to our four horsemen theory. It could connect to the end of the world. In my own little selfish way, I think that we could be on the right track with something like this, but
Mhm. I think I also, because I remember one interview very early on, one of the boys saying like, "Oh, this is about like boys becoming men. This album is about boys becoming men," and that first line reminds me a lot of like I've been handed a quite demanding and hardly standing lie. Like the life that I've been given as like here's the script that I've been given as like a young man in this world, and
Mhm.
it's like nearly impossible for me to uphold because I don't want to like uphold these standards. Essentially, that's what I was thinking with that first line.
Yeah. Mhm. I I think honestly this whole album could be about knighthood in one way or another. The sword is
Yeah.
introduced, the fate of the faithful screams like I've been told I can be a knight my whole life and then I became one and what? Like now I'm getting screwed and have to fight in a battle. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just
Life is sorted and never thwarted. It's just supported by being well. I don't know. This song is very like intense, and yet this person feels very passive. Like I just want to let it pass. I don't really
yeah.
want to deal with this like actual end of the world that's happening around me.
Yep. Um yeah, it does seem very passive now that I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading it.
Mm-hmm. Torn down
It's
rubble that's left
giving
behind. You can live with a pointless forte, a silly board game that you would know, but I don't want to lose. Like I'm tired of playing this game and playing this role in this game that I've been given, and yet I still have to keep playing it because we
dude,
have
it's
to play
society.
the game.
Dude,
That one.
it's society, it's
We live in a
capitalism.
society.
No, no.
Yes.
No, but if you think about it, like
Yeah.
we as Americans are holding up this falling sky of
Yes.
capitalism
Yes,
working.
bro. This song is about that. Like I've always thought that. Like I am literally just living in the end stages of capitalism and have to deal with it. That's what this song is about to me.
Very well could be. We're living in a crazy time where everything just seems chaotic all the time. And
Mhm.
what do you want to do? Just let it pass. Like,
But you still have
go
to hold up
away.
the falling sky. Like the sky is burning and everything's awful, and yet I still have to hold it up because that's my role in all of this.
Yep.
Especially
Wow.
men who feel like they have to like be breadwinners and be like protectors and shit.
Yeah. This song is very meta.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's also fun. Wow.
It's also fun.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holding up the falling sky. Sacred the thread. Um, so guys, I'm running my hair behind my ear in case you can't see on screen. I was listening to my Live at Bridgeport Strange Horizons vinyl, and Josh teases this song. That's in 2021?
Early, right?
Yeah, that was like summer of 2021. That was right around when I got into them that they did that album or vinyl.
I'm jealous.
And it's like the first 4 lines of the song,
Mm-hmm.
which is just I know some people want us to talk about this too, so maybe we can briefly get into it because we don't know a whole lot about it. But them teasing songs in their current tours that are coming out,
Yes.
they do
Yes.
that a lot.
Yeah.
They did it with Weighted Dreams, where it was
Mhm.
something and then it became something else. Sacred the Thread they teased, and then obviously became Sacred the Thread. So,
Danny
and
wrote
then
Broken
now,
Bells like what 2017?
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's very clear, or at least it's clear to a lot of people, that Jake has been playing the same sort of riff
Yeah.
little thingy
Yeah.
in the shows, and everyone's like, this has got to be something,
It's
which I agree.
before Sacred the Thread, right? Like right before Sacred the Thread they go into.
I think so. I don't have
Yeah.
the thing
I don't know
up
the
with me now.
timestamps or anything. I just saw people on Reddit talking about it.
Somebody had messaged us on our TikTok and asked us to talk about this, so we'll get into it a little bit. Um, but I just think that it's definitely possible that they're teasing something, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we're getting anything anytime soon, guys. Like Sacred the Thread, that tease was 2021.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'd
Yes.
love them to come out with something sooner, but
Although, have people likened this to parts of things they were teasing in Dreams of Gold too? Like, have they been teasing whatever this is for longer than just StarCATCher Tour?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I found this screenshot. It is before Sacred the Thread.
Mhm.
Um, and somebody is saying that it's titled Crossroads of the West, which I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
where
know
that
how.
name came from, but it's very interesting.
Mhm.
Um, you can find if you see any YouTube live things, if you just go right to before Sacred the Thread, that you can hear it there. Um, I don't know why it's titled that. I'll have
I
to
don't
double
think that that person backed it up with anything. Like, I don't know that they gave a
I don't
reason why it would be named that.
they
But
said a caption, um,
hmm.
for something. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up now because now I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure I'm also looking something up. I'm not just scrolling. I'm pretty sure I sent the clip to my friend who was a musician, trying to be like, what the heck is he doing with his guitar here? And it just so happens that that's also the clip that we've heard repeat itself several times. Because in the
Yeah.
post, they were talking about how, like, you can't say, well, the post was not originally about this clip of a new song, quote unquote. It was originally about somebody saying, like, why would you dislike these long solos? They're literally new songs in the making, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, I just like, I fully agree because they really do like create the songs like as we're watching.
They do. They do. And that's what's really freaking cool about them. Um, apparently there's a TikTok video where they're playing the riff and the caption capitalizes Crossroads of the West. It's the video of Jake standing far away in a room and it says once upon a time in the Crossroads of the West, and Crossroads and West is capitalized. Uh,
What where was that video?
that was posted on their TikTok on, it looks like August 2nd.
Okay, I mean that's where they were in the world. So they would have been in the Midwest West. So debunked.
But it could mean something. You never
Maybe.
know, man. So just to avoid any like copyright things or whatever, guys, we'll put the links to the videos about these riffs that we're talking about in the description so you can see them for yourselves. Those are our citations for you.
Yeah.
Runway Blues, touchdown,
San
San Francisco. We already know that this doesn't really
Yeah.
mean all that much, at least we don't think. So
But
that's
it's
that.
fun. It's very fun.
It's fun.
I hate Runway Blues. No, go back. I hate Runway Blues.
Girl, if you don't, I literally screeched when I saw them play it live. And you know what? You wouldn't
I
appreciate it if you
hate
saw
it.
it live.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't. I hate it.
You hate it? Really?
Yeah. It's my
Really?
least favorite song. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
that's
anybody who likes it
fine.
is stupid. I can't. Runway Blues is like mid.
Okay. And
And what about it? Just kidding, guys. We're trying to get clickbait.
we're trying to clickbait you guys into thinking that we are
Hate
arguing.
Runway Blues.
No, you hate it. I don't hate it.
Get news, breaking news, guys. Grestie Zoey hates Runway Blues.
No, don't spread that rumor.
I can't believe you hate
Guys.
Runway Blues, Zoey.
No, guys. I love Runway Blues.
For the
Guys.
record, I agree with Josh, and I think we're a little bit harsh on him for saying that he ruined Runway Blues. He's right. It doesn't fit the narrative, but it is a fun song.
Right. I could agree that it doesn't fit the narrative. That doesn't mean I hate it.
I think you hate
Doesn't fit the narrative, but I love it anyways.
it. She hates it. Grestie
No,
shakes.
guys, I don't hate it. Have you seen the videos on TikTok of the one guy playing Among Us and he starts like yelling at children and they're like screaming? They're like, "No, please don't!" Like
That's
that's
you.
what I'm trying to emulate here.
I have not seen it, but I can imagine.
Yeah. Um. Next slide. The Indigo Streak.
This is the most mind-boggling one to me on this album. What the fuck are we talking about?
I might have found something.
Continue.
So we obviously hear mentions of the ether, which we know to be spirit, like heaven, everything else in the stars in the sky, and all of that stuff. There's a lot of the ether in this song. But I went to go type in the indigo, and child was suggested after it. And I was like, what the hell is an indigo child? They're gifted children who have psychic awareness and who are like going to shift reality of society, and their mission is to shake up the modern world and pave the way for future generations to greater peace and harmony for
The
all.
The fuck? The fuck? Huh? You left
He
in the
says the
text
word
about somebody thinking it was about Jake being sick.
Oh, this isn't that
People
song.
don't believe this song is about Jake being sick. Maybe doing some sick shredding, but
Sorry, guys. I'm delirious.
no, it's okay. Also, if you're listening, you just missed me doing the fuck face like a million times because that's insane.
She's doing the sus eye, the sus look. But like, think about that wide-minded dreamer,
Yeah.
a child no less, a painter, a prophet.
No.
I don't know. Does Josh think he's an indigo child? Maybe.
I bet he does.
And that would tie into a symbol.
You are a child in the garden. Growing up, I'll watch you
You're
bloom.
a child in the garden.
Mostly human. Because we were just talking about that interview that Sam and Danny did where they were talking about God meeting the living and who is the living. Why wouldn't he just say humans, humanity? Maybe people aren't living.
Maybe they aren't, but also indigo children they believe to be highly spiritual, so they might not be entirely human. They might be human, but also spirit.
Angelic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are a lot of characters in D&D that are not human.
We tied everything to D&D.
Maybe. Okay. I believe at least one of them has played at least a couple one-shots.
Okay, which one?
Least.
Be parasocial for like 5 seconds.
All right, okay. I'll put on my parasocial hat. It's on. I think it'd be the perfect thing to play on tour. I think it'd be the perfect thing. You got 4
You think they
people.
all play together? What are they, Stranger Things?
Yes, bro.
And why would Jake be Eddie, okay?
They have the font already, like, of course. No, I really do think though, like, if I were touring, it would be the perfect place because you have to be like in the same place for a very long time, and I don't know that any of them would be patient enough to DM except for Danny, but I just feel like at least Jake would. I think he would love that, honestly. And I feel like Sam probably would as well. Josh, I think if he could just be, a character, I think he'd be fine with that. But
yes,
they could. They would probably have a very fun time. And if they haven't, Greta Van Fleet, go play D&D. You'd love it. There you go.
Now I'm doing my sus eye.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay was parasocial. Listen,
I'm just a dork, okay? Listen, because every time we're like, I don't know, maybe, then they come in and they're like, yeah. And so now I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm going to love myself. Like
they're
Danny.
Confirming.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I'm going to love myself like Danny loves himself. And I'm going to say, I'm right. Okay. I bet at least one of them has played D&D before.
Okay.
All right, parasocial hat off.
All right, keep it close though. You never know when
it's over there.
Okay. Frozen Light. This one has a lot of like throwbacks in it.
Okay, parasocial hat back. It's so them making their own story in D&D. Like this is the song that made me believe it because like It is literally like it literally is a campaign. Like it's literally characters, four brothers searching for a meal. What are you doing in D&D? You're traveling around. You're like doing the campaign. You're like casting light because some of you, maybe one of you is a wizard or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Oh. Who would be the wizard? Sam.
I think Sam would play a wizard. I think Danny, if you weren't DMing, would want to be like a paladin. I think, and okay, I really hope there's other people out here who are agreeing with me because I think he'd play like a great paladin, maybe cleric. He'd want to do somebody who like can heal. He'd be a healing character, I think. And then Josh is a wild card. I don't know. I feel like he could play
I feel like he'd want to be like the silliest kind of character, you know? Like he would never take it too seriously, but he wants to
100%.
be a silly character.
I think he could play like, okay, here's the thing, because there is a character that has a like patron. I don't remember. The
Fake
the
fan.
class.
You don't even know.
Listen, I haven't played in a while, okay, but I did play all throughout 2020 and into 2021.
All right.
There is a character. Oh, it's a warlock, right? Right? I might be wrong.
Is that a
I don't remember.
wizard?
No, because take several seats. Listen. You are a noob. A noob.
Okay.
No, but like
Some might say you're the crazy one.
Yeah, these dorks, no, you got to get on our level. But there's a character class where you get your powers from a like higher being, right? Like if you're worshiping like a god, you can get it in like a worshipful way. But then there's also one where you have to like basically sell your soul to this person, and that reminds me a lot of meeting the master. What the fuck is that character class called?
Well, I guess you'll never know because you're not that cool at D&D. So
I haven't played in a long time. Okay.
I'm trying to start beef with you for the content.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Oh,
that's our ongoing joke this episode, guys. By the way, is that we're just fake beefing the entire time.
Yeah. No. Okay. I think it is a warlock. Essentially, you can either get your powers if you have like spiritual powers. You can get them from like a god, or you can get them from like having sold your soul to a dark entity. And I think that is the kind of character that's singing in Meeting the Master.
Dude, you gotta stop talking because now I think that maybe I believe you.
You should believe me because I'm right.
I don't want to think that these boys can play D&D. Like it doesn't process in my mind.
They're absolute dorks, bro.
Are they absolute dorks or are they just like kind of dorks? Like that's where I'm like,
girl, they told their fandom they take the most inspiration from Lord of the Rings.
No, I thought they just said they liked watching Lord of the Rings.
I mean, if it's your favorite, no, I'm pretty sure what they said was like, what's your favorite media, like, to like inspiration, right?
Oh, I thought they were talking about their favorite movies because Sam said the Wes Anderson movie and Jake said a few others.
I would argue that artists will copy the art that they consume, regardless of if they take inspiration from it or not. So,
okay, that's true. Well, next time just don't paraphrase, okay?
Fine, Zoe. I won't. I'll be very eloquent and I'll make a whole presentation. Next one is going to be all my nerd presentation. Everybody's going to hate it.
I won't. I'll be less sassy next episode, I promise.
Better.
Anyways, Frozen Light. We're already like very far into this episode, so I'm trying to...
We gotta stop fighting. We're fighting so much.
Guys, we're so unproductive because we keep fighting. Anyways, there's a mention of the four brothers, where they say 4 brothers searching for a meal. And then, what is the frozen light? Is it like the northern lights you see in the visualizer, or is it a frozen light like a lighthouse in Sam's symbol, like calling you home? You see the lighthouse in the water. Mentions of dreams in gold, drunken laughter, and dreams in gold. That was my singing.
I'm so irritated though that in the sleeve, like the vinyl sleeve, it says dreams and gold. That makes me so irritated.
Oh, does it?
It does. But like on
Oh.
Apple Music, it says in, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
I don't know. Dreams in Gold makes sense. It is Dreams in
I'll
Gold.
fact check that on
Mine said
on
that.
my stuff.
Yeah, fine. I'll fact check too, Zoe.
Okay, fine. You know what? I'm pulling mine out right now and I'm fact checking it.
Shit, maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it says and because I was like, no, it's not Dreams in Gold.
Oh God, why did they print this on white letters? Okay.
Yeah.
Frozen Light.
Yeah, it says Dreams and Gold.
Why can't I? Oh yeah, Dreams and Gold.
Yeah. But he clearly sings in. So,
Yeah. Well, it grammatically wouldn't make sense to say laughter and dreams and gold. It wouldn't make sense to have that many ands.
I think it makes sense, Zoe.
Okay. Fine.
I can't I can't keep pretending to be mad.
I'll go to my last thought so we can get over this little fight that we're having. He also says the chosen road. I choose the road. Yeah. That's our connections to previous albums. It seems like this one is very connected to Bag in one way or another. So I don't know.
Here you go.
Could Frozen Light also be like Heaven's Light?
I really do think it's just like snowy light. Like Frozen Light, you're cold, it's snowing. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like this song is like one of the most straightforward ones where it's like it's about me and my bros and it's a hard long journey, but like I'm not alone. And
It's a hard long journey, Lindsay. Those are your choice words.
Yeah, they are. Because I don't have a dirty mind, Zoe.
Well, okay. Next. The Archer.
I love this song, bro.
I think this is maybe my favorite, or maybe not. I don't know. I had a tummy ache the other day driving home from work, and I was really trying to focus on getting home, and I didn't even realize I had the song on repeat, and I listened to it for my full 25-minute ride home because I was trying so hard to survive my tummy ache.
As you should.
I love this song. Jake's guitar just saves me when I have a little tummy ache. I don't know what to say.
It's really, really good. Okay, I do have pushback though on the Sahara part. I think that was just I don't think that that's relevant at all.
Then where did the name Sarah come from?
Just the character. It's just whoever the Archer is, that's the person in his life. I don't know.
But I mean, it's a little bit too much of a coincidence that means the one who has shot the arrow. Is it not?
I mean, that maybe is why they picked the name Sarah. But I don't know.
I don't
feel
think she's the desert or anything, but I think that name was chosen because it's somehow
because of Sahara. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sense. I just think the story is, again, I'm sorry I made this all about D&D, but it's very much backstory. It's
all
like,
right.
bro, it's literally like if you sit down and you are like introducing your character in a game and you always have D&D people out there know what I'm talking about. You always have that one guy who goes way too into his backstory and he's like, and this is why I am like alone and like angsty and like blah 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 because the person I love the most died, and like they just tell way too much of their backstory, and that's what this is to me, is like exactly one character's backstory to why they are the way they are. And I love it.
I mean, there's always that character in movies too where we just didn't need all that backstory. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
One lyric I do want to talk about because it just popped into my head. This was the day the Archer died.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that means that the character actually died or like he died inside?
I think it's like my bride, like this was my reason for living, and I like turned to the one thing I understand, which is like my job or whatever, like being the Archer. And that person who allowed the love of my life to died. Like this entity or like this identity that I used to be died. I no longer am that
Like he's
person.
just cold now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Punisher. Like that person doesn't exist anymore, you know?
Very emo.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Next song. We've already
And
done
last
a whole
song.
episode on this.
This is my favorite.
Meeting the Master, guys. If you want to hear our more in-depth theories and connections, you can go to episode 3.
Go home.
Is it 3 or 4?
If you're not watching, I'm worshiping. I love this song.
Different streams of thought happening right now. I'm pretty sure it's episode 3 where we talk about this.
I think you're right.
I think so. But the use of ROMs connects back to Trip the Light Fantastic if we're talking about connections to previous albums. So that's that. Go listen to episode 3 if you haven't already. Farewell for now. Farewell for now.
Oh, I forgot about Farewell for now.
I just think this song does not have anything to do with the story. I think this is another fan dedicated song.
Or it's the reason why the story exists. I'm gonna yell because this is what taught me this. Okay, and I have a TikTok of this like a long time ago, like months when this first came out. We have shared with you our stories, bro. It's a story. We have shared with you our stories.
Yeah.
You play music, but you play games, and it means the world to play. To play D&D.
I'm gonna like punch you through this computer screen right now if you say the letters D and or D in the same sentence.
We started out and you're like, oh, I can't find anything to be mad at you about, and now you found it. I don't know, man. I don't know. We've shared with you our stories. Had ourselves a really big time. Fought in battles.
Far from the homeland. Even drink from the wine is, I think, them calling back to Stardust chords. Even sinners go to drink the wine.
Break the
bread. We didn't break the bread, but we drank the wine. So I would have liked some bread, but
love bread.
You know,
love bread.
I love bread.
That's my controversial opinion tonight. I love bread and wine.
Isn't that an Oprah quote where she's like, I love bread?
I think so. I think it's interesting, like, how many times they make religious, like, connotation, like, they make, like, connections to different religious, like, interpretations, but they never have to, like, connect to one specifically, even though the bread and the wine is very like Judeo-Christian, right? Of like, here we are like partaking in the body of the divine and the blood of the divine. And
yes, because I know religion very well.
Well, so that's what, like, I don't know what I understand of Christianity, like the like capital C Catholic Church literally believes, well, some people believe in transubstantiation, where it's literally the body of Christ. But then, like, evangelicals are just like, no, it's like a symbol. But either way, the symbology is like the bread is the body of God, Christ, and the wine is the blood, because God was made human for you, so you are consuming it, essentially. Like, that's
a scary thought to be thinking that you're drinking blood.
It is.
What are we, vampires?
Dude, and that's why the original, like, Christians who were like saying this shit, people were like, you're fucking cannibals, because they were like, it's literally his body, we're eating his body. It kind of goes hard. It's kind of hardcore.
Yeah, kind of hardcore. Kind of love it.
It's kind of hardcore.
You guys do you.
You do you.
You do you. Yeah. I get what you're saying with the D&D stuff, but hear me out. D&D has to be
No.
influenced by something.
Oh yeah.
What if the boys aren't pulling from D&D, but they're pulling from what D&D is influenced on?
No, 100%. Which is Tolkien. Like it's 100% Tolkien lore and all that shit. It's very much like which came first, the chicken or the egg, you know.
Exactly.
But
We can beef about that all day because we got so much beef between each other that we're just
so
gonna.
much beef. We actually hate each
We're
other,
not.
guys.
Yeah, we're not even gonna stand next to each other
Yeah.
when we go to the shows. We actually
No.
bought seats on opposite sides of the stadium, so
That's just like not even believable though, because then one of
No.
us would have to be on Sammy's side and one of us would have to be on Jake's side, and we both want to be on Jake's side, so that's not.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of my lights just shut off, so I think it might be time for us to
It's time
wind
to go to bed.
down. We're going into nighttime mode, guys.
Nighttime mode.
Nighttime mode.
Mhm.
Let me get this little presentation out of here because we're done. We did all the songs.
We're done. Thank God.
did-
I hate talking to you about Greta.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's my least favorite activity of the fortnight.
Fortnite.
Literally, do you play Fortnite or?
I play Highway 2 on a Fortnite.
I can't. What water did we drink today to be like this? We drank from the wine.
You let me talk about my nerd shit for too long, and now I'm on one.
Who said I let you? I'm just a victim here.
I sat you down and I said, "Look at the nerd shit.
Look at it."
We got
Anyways,
done. We got cut.
guys, we're
Cut the
wrapping up.
cameras. Dead ass.
Let's do our final notes and goodbyes and exits. If you liked this episode, give it a like on YouTube. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you for listening to this episode.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yes, thank you very much for dealing with our shit. We promise that we're not always beefing.
No, we're not. This is our first time ever having beef, and
we tried really hard. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, it's just vegan beef, so it's like not really real beef.
Or is it?
Anyways, listen to us on Spotify. If you are watching on YouTube, go give us a follow there. Or if you're on Spotify, thanks for always dealing with us not maybe being the best at giving visual descriptions, but you can come watch us on YouTube if you want to see what the heck we're freaking talking about.
Question. Will the next one be IRL?
Oh. No, the next one, I think.
Next one. All right.
We'll figure that out. We'll let you guys know. We're going to have an IRL episode real soon.
Live and in-person episode. Get ready for it.
Live and in person. We don't know if it's going to be next episode or the episode after that. I have to figure out logistics. But you guys, if you want to stay up to date on what we're doing, you can follow us at Peaceful Army Podcast on Instagram or on TikTok at Peaceful Army Pod. So you can stay up to date with all of our breakdowns and all of our news and everything that we find out.
And all of our beef.
Yeah, because we're beefing. I'm going to fight her after this. Get ready. When we meet IRL, it's just going to be... It's going to be like when you put Sam and Josh
match.
It's going to be like that one video of Sam and Josh in Atlantic City. Atlantic City.
We're not in fucking Atlantic City.
Okay. Anyways, guys, we're unhinged tonight. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We love you. Have a happy holiday season because we probably won't see you. So if you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas. If you finished celebrating Hanukkah, happy delayed Hanukkah. And if you celebrate any other holidays that might not be at the top of my mind right now, we hope you have a
happy winter solstice on
winter
Thursday?
Solstice.
Yeah.
Winter solstice. Enjoy this season. Spend lots of time with your friends and family, and We love you, Gresties, and we'll
I
see
love
you in the
besties.
new year or almost new year. Ah,
It's gonna slay. Bye,
it's gonna slay.
Gresties.
Bye.